What's up, dudes? Max here. Before we jump into it, I wanted to let you know about the sponsor of today's video, which is Dungeon Fighter Online, that's chiming back in with a huge and significant update. That update includes Archer, which is a completely new character to Dungeon Fighter Online, and also has two advancements, which is Muse and Traveler. It's an Archer that uses music from her bow to enhance all your allies, and Traveler, which is also using her longbow to fire auxiliary missiles and a whole bunch of other stuff that has an action-packed playstyle. There's also level up and power up events for this new character, so if you're looking for a chance to jump in and give it a shot, now is the best time. For anybody that's watched some previous DNF Duel videos of mine and has not had a chance to check out Dungeon Fighter Online before, this is a fast-paced side-scrolling combat game against a ton of enemies in various dungeons and stages. You can choose up to more than 60 class advancements per character, and each has a wide range of different classes, unique abilities, progression paths, and playstyles that allows you to really sink some time into each character and figure out what they can do. It also has customization, a vast array of dungeons, and PvP, so there's a lot to look into here. And it's a perfect time if you want to jump in, check it out for the first time, because the game is free to play. Again, a big thanks to Neopal for this sponsorship opportunity. If you guys want to check out Dungeon Fighter Online, you can go ahead and click the link in the description below. The Guilty Gear developer backyard? Holy shit, when is the last time I played Guilty Gear? For anybody that is like, why the hell did you stop playing Guilty Gear? I'm curious if it mentions anything about this, because they got to be getting into season 3 now? I was having a lot of fun with the game, just in general. The problem, there ended up being a big problem, and it was unrelated to Hackerman. Hackerman really started affecting tournament level play and was hitting people at certain times a day, but that never really hit me. So that's not it. People saying like, oh, it's because of the Hackerman situation. No, it wasn't. My problem was pretty unique to just myself, where the online just stopped working for me for the most part. And it was because of the way the lobbies like worked. So I would go on and there wasn't nearly as many people playing anymore. So the lobbies were kind of thinned out. You can kind of get an idea of where somebody was going to be. When I was going to ranked play Guilty Gear Strive the last time I was playing, and I was trying to like get my character or whatever back to heaven or whatnot, I just could not get ranked matches. I would get 1 or 2, and then it would just stop working. So why did it stop working? Because when you're doing ranked match queuing, all you're doing is sitting in that floor at a machine. So what happens in Guilty Gear when too many people click on a machine? Not many people know about this, but when too many people hover around a machine and start clicking to get in line and play, it literally crashes and stops working. This isn't a new thing. This has been happening since the arcade cabinets in the virtual lobby in Guilty Gear Xrd, where even in those games, it was a big problem, and it would only work when you go into like an actual room and then make a room for yourselves. When you were in the normal lobby, they would just break. They fixed that with the updates, right? But the problem is in Strive, it still happened. So because of that, I just couldn't play ranked anymore. I would get 1 or 2 matches, and then it would just stop queuing me, and I would have to go back and like unqueue, and it would put me in the lobby, and I'm like, oh, so I'm at this machine and there's people just crowding it trying to fight me, either stream sniping or whatnot, whatever. I had to like go to another machine, and then I would get 1 match and it would break again. So I'm like, fuck, dude, that sucks. So what's the answer to that? Oh, now you need to go to the parks. Gotta go to the parks. But the exact same thing happens in the park. So even when like you're going to like a private place to fight some people, I would have to, if I wanted to play Guilty Gear Online, I would specifically have to like get one person's information and then fight them individually. And for me, that's just unrealistic. I just need to like a rotating like degree of people just to fight and go through stuff. So ultimately that was it, man. Like that just prevented me from ever continuing to play. And it was just, there were other games coming out that I wanted to try, and granted, there's always like a billion games trying to get my attention at any given time, but I hope that that's either been alleviated, because that was even pre-crazy Hackerman bullshit. I hope that's been alleviated, or is something that they're talking about in the next part of the game. Developer Backyard would like to discuss future updates into the touch with the development team as our mind going forward. We'd also like to introduce Bedman and Asuka R, which have been out. There's been sometime since their initial release. Okay, so let's go down past some of these characters because I just didn't have the burning desire to really check out their gameplay. I'm very curious to see where the heck the game goes from this point forward. If they're, if the lobbies are going to get deleted. With Guilty Gear Strive entering its 3rd year, we are working on a large-scale update for Season 3, planned for summer of 2023. While we must be somewhat tight-lipped at the moment, we are planning multiple updates that should bring a fresh new experience for even players dedicated to playing one main character. Our first step towards realizing this will not only bring new faces to the roster, but also implementing balance changes for the entire cast, new battle mechanics, and new special moves for some characters. Wow. In addition, the network lobby is planned to receive improvements to stability. Oh God! That's what I want to. I'm actually more excited for that than anything. And we intend to push forward a number of other updates in preparation for future changes that are to come. So please stay tuned for further details in the near future. Wow, they literally say it. Wow. Okay. Are there any plans to implement a ranked match system more akin to other previous installments? The current ranked tower system implemented. Okay, so this is a question because while the ranked match system was great in the first month or two the game was out, as soon as the audience started thinning out, the lower floored lobbies were just dead, and only people were playing matches at higher skill lobbies like the 9th and 10th floor or whatever. So yeah, that's a good question because while it did seem like a really good answer at the start, it ended up becoming kind of a detriment. They focus mainly on players who are not as familiar with fighting games, calculated around certain factors such as appropriate fair matchmaking for beginners and elimination of stress regarding rank placement. Although the design philosophy has had many positive effects, we recognize that there is always room for improvement. In previous installments, there were some apparent issues with the ranked, such as difficulty finding matches at higher rank, as well as the tendency for higher placed players to stop queuing for ranked matches after a certain point and opting for player lobbies. As a result, the overall... Yeah, it's weird that, there's never been one good solution for online ranked in any Arc System Works game. They never had, one good solution. As a result, the overall number of participants in ranked match player pool, a system originally intended to have players of similar ability competing against each other, has decreased. Players will often have to search for the right opponents for them by trial and error in open lobbies. Of course, the player population and competitive environment have changed between then and now, not to mention lack of rollback netcode at the time. I believe this led to greater focus on finding opponents with a stable connection rather than ones in skill level. The current tower system was created in an attempt to overcome these issues previously affecting ranked matchmaking. Parks now get the most play. That makes sense. And yeah, normally, in any other game that has a flux of people at least coming in kind of normally, these lower floors should have a large degree of play, but they don't. It's pretty much just the top. So it's it's funny that it just complements the overall meme where when you run into a game that's been out for a couple of years, it's like an anime game of some kind. Outside of a Dragon Ball FighterZ that has a huge casual market. Most of these games is going to be this. This chart is directly representative of that, where you're pretty much going to get killers. It's killers only. This is why I still encourage people for any game, even if it's popular games, Tekken, Street Fighter, whatever. This is why I recommend that the #1 time to jump into a fighting game, regardless of how difficult, easy to play, whatever, doesn't matter. The best time to play a fighting game is when it's new. The best time to play a fighting game when it just comes out is because the skill level is more split between this area and there's less down here and way more over here, where you get a chance to maybe work your way up and get up here. You have a chance to actually learn and grow with the players around you. The above image displays the distribution of players who entered with all regions on June 11, 2023, 2 years after the release. Player count per ranked to decrease as the rank level increases, yet the opposite is known to be true for Guilty Gear and the tower system. For a more positive perspective, that would mean that there is no shortage of worthy opponents, even as one's rank increases. On the other hand, it also means that the current highest floor, Celestial, inevitably matches players all different skill levels as even professional fighting game players join the mix there. For future updates, we are considering options to further optimize the current system and reduce skill gaps on the top floor, such as adding another floor beyond Celestial, or possibly even implementing incentive rewards for participating in ranked tower matches. Yeah, this is good. I like this. Implementing incentives for participating in ranked matches? Yes. Yes, please. For future games, have character costumes been considered instead of using color palettes? Ugh. We're gonna hear them say no here in a very creative way. The idea of adding alt costumes has been bounced around a few times in the team, but there are no plans. Well, that was blunt. Completely changing a character's appearance would prove as challenging of an endeavor as developing a totally new character. Altering some parts of an outfit, even as the appearance of certain weapons, wouldn't be impossible per se. But what kind of character costumes or colors would you like to see added to the game? Please use the developer. They didn't even, they're just like, nah, shut up. How about no? How about you shut up and no? I want Strive to implement the menu shortcut setting that was in Xrd Rev 2. In the previous installment of Rev 2, it was possible to assign a shortcut to the main menu and instantly select desired menu with a single pressable button. A function that allowed players to easily access. Oh, that seems fine. Please look forward to this feature in a future update. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, that's just quality of life stuff. No more loading bullshit, you know? I'm curious to see, like, if we actually see Batman, much less Asuka and that man in like big top 16 maybe moments of Evo, because I haven't really seen these characters played very much. There's just been too much other shit happening, and they're not characters that were immediately on like my gotta play, gotta check them out sort of list. You know, but ultimately I'm curious to see like how they are, if they're kind of strong or if they're good. Yeah, I don't think Happy Chaos is in the same situation as before, chat. Don't worry. If you're worried about Happy Chaos, like, you know, snooze festing everyone into top 8, that character doesn't play exactly like a zoning character that much anymore. He's kind of like a close range, like mix-up character. From what I understand, that his game plan changed a bit from what he was, from immediately what he was. Sorry, it's not top 8, it's top 6. This is gonna take a while to get used to. Balance changes given, new battle mechanics, and new special moves. See, this is exciting because characters have historically have the least special moves from the majority of Guilty Gear games, from what I understand. Like what characters are given tool set wise in Strive is less than previous games just in general, right? So that's exciting. Like maybe the game is just going to be giving more expression just in some way. That's cool. New battle mechanics. The only thing that comes to mind is insta kill, bro. And that is obviously still the one thing that feels like it's missing from this shit. It still feels like it's missing. That could be Gatlings, right? It could be different types of Gatlings in some way. But I don't know. I think if you want to get force breaks, yeah, well, they could do that. They could. That would be nuts. You know, that'd be more reason to use your meter as well, I guess. IKs just aren't like this flashy gimmick fatality thing. It isn't technically that. What it is marketability. IKs allow you to see shit in trailer form, much less in preview form of a new Guilty Gear update that looks different than the game has had before. Granted, anybody that has like played Strive a lot, much less have not been exposed to it in some way, knows that, oh, they're just gimmicks, right? Unless you actually turn them into mechanics, which they did in the Xrd series. You can combo into them and shit. I hope it's IKs because it gives reasons that people want to check the game out in some way, right? There could be a better mechanic that might be better for the longevity of the game, sure. But you know, finishing people off with an IK with a really specific set of criteria was one of the coolest things they did to Xrd, in my opinion. Now we're getting so far into the development of this game that, you know, I don't even know. At this point, I don't even know, but I would like to just throw out that probably IKs would be a nice addition, just in general. I think a lot of people would like to see that come back in some way.